Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Kearsells of the Rising Dawn series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size. Hello guys and welcome to a brand new episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. I'm one of your hosts, J.A. Bryden. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How are we going, Triple R?
Living the dream, my friend, living the dream. I had finished the book Don't Let It Out that I was reading for a very advanced copy. Well, it's 141 pages, so it only took me 3 sittings, but it is very, very good. I did go by a gentleman by the name of N.A. Betts. He's primarily a fantasy author. I did pick up, he's got a trilogy out of fantasy books that I picked up after finishing it up because, I like his writing style, so I'm happy to check out those fantasy books. I haven't decided what I'm going to start reading tonight, but I will let you guys know on the next episode. I saw Mortal Kombat 2 last weekend. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still very good. Kano is still my favourite character by far. Just with the dirty jokes and everything, it's just, won the day. But it is very good. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode. Surprise, surprise, I've got another couple of books to read. It was a great chat.
Yeah, guys, we are about to dive into an episode with Scott Shepherd from South Australia. The time difference is only half an hour, which is just crazy, but it was a great chat. We got into a bunch of stuff. He's a great guy. He's got a great series out. How do you think it went, Ryan?
Went really well. He's a lovely guy. He's a traveling salesman. Got a great sense of humour. He was actually quite good at the story pitch game. It was very, very good. He came up with his answers pretty much on the spot, which was great. I'm looking forward to getting into his series of books. He's got 3 out at the moment. Yep. I think it went really well.
Yeah, and I will say he probably got the hardest story pitch. Most random things that just nothing lined up. But it was a hoot. It was a lot of fun with that. So before we jump into that, check out our sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells. Check out our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. Buy Ryan's shirt. I don't feel like I say that enough. Buy Ryan's new shirt with our Dropbear on the front as well. Great new line of merch. Support the show that supports the wonderful indie authors of the world. Join our Discord. Reach out. We'll give you the link. I think that's all I got to say. So let's go talk to Scott Shepherd. Scott Shepherd, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
It is fantastic to have another Australian on the podcast for once. Jeez. The question we always start with is, who is Scott Shepherd?
That's a very good question. Obviously named Scott Shepherd. I'm 41 years old. I live in a small rural country town in South Australia called Narracor. It's about 10,000 people. I have 2, teenage daughters. That's not right. A 20-year-old and one to be 17. And I'm a travelling sales rep. So all I do all day is talk to people. So rather than so very, very different.
Strap in. It's going to be a long one if you're used to talking.
Yeah, you might get sick of my voice. So that's that. On the writing side, mystery adventure for young adults. I've done 3 books in a series, which has been interesting to jump straight into a series from nothing. Probably not the smartest move in the world in hindsight. Probably specialist your last guest. Yeah, we were talking about it. I've written 3 books in a mystery adventure series so far called Exonerai. So, that's sort of roughly who I am.
Cool. So
Awesome.
you're from a pretty small town, considering we're from Sydney. But so, like, how far do you travel to be a traveling salesman?
I basically, on normal, I'm travel an hour every day, rural. So, and then a couple of times a month, I'll drive 3.5 hours to Adelaide.
Oh, wow.
So, about 3.5 hours, 4 hours from Adelaide, about 5.5, 6 hours to Melbourne. So, to give you a rough idea for
The traveling.
Yeah, you grow up in the country, used to driving everywhere. That's just the reality, I guess.
Yeah, well, most people find it surprising that I've never been on a plane before, like, because I drive everywhere, like,
Not a phobia, or just.
Well, I don't know if I could say that I have a phobia or not. I just like driving because I like seeing the small towns. I like this. When you're in a plane, you can't go, stop, I want to look at that, It's like,
Makes perfect sense.
I think, I've always wanted to go to Perth. So I think I would fly there instead of driving the just as,
that would be a massive hole in the car.
yeah. My cousins did that when they were kids, and they said, "Are we there yet?" And their dad said, "Yeah, we're just around the corner." It's just like they didn't tell you when the next corner was.
5 days later, they're still driving.
Yeah, and they haven't turned a corner.
Oh, wow! No, that's a long trip. Even like from here, from here, like to Adelaide, then you drive across like Eyre Peninsula and like the Nullarbor Plains. I've got a mate that lived in the over Perth for a long time. He come up and across, and I'm just going, "You are crazy!" Like, just the hours in the car. And then he had kids, and I'm going.
Yeah, I did a road trip about 10 years ago down to Victor Harbour, which is, way at the bottom of South Australia.
Yeah.
And I went down the east coast through the mountains and stuff like that. Did this really random weird road trip. And then when I went home, I went across the Hay Plains. I hated it. I hated it so much.
That is, Hay Plains is something next level. I've driven a few times to Queensland from here, and you're going from Hay across to like West Wyalong. In that middle there's just absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And the cows aren't afraid of the cars. Like they were like grazing, like you're driving 110 past them, and they're like going, what? Not even flinching. Just welcome to the road trip podcast.
Where do you want us to talk about next?
Let's crack into these icebreakers. I believe it's your turn to go, Ryan, this time, if I remember.
No, I think I went first last time, to be honest with you. It's your turn, mate.
Okay, then we're gonna do it. We want to know, Scott. We want to know, who is your favorite dynamic duo? Like Batman and Robin, Rick and Morty. JD and Turk. Just for examples.
I know. I tossed between a couple. It was it's not easy as you think when you're trying to think, because your brain thinks, oh, what do you like now? And then you go, oh, what did I like when I was a kid? And all that. So I settled on Asterix and Obelix.
Oh,
my childhood.
By
reading, reading the comics as a kid, going to the library and borrowing comics and under the sheets, and at night when you're supposed to be at bed and you're reading comics, and your mum's like, why are you so tired? I'm like, oh, just
Asterix and Obelix.
Yeah, no, I think that's sort of where I landed, very random. And a close second would be Timon and Pumbaa, I think, from The Lion King. Good fun, carry on with those two as well. So it was a tough one, but
No, that's it. I think we're all roughly the same age. So I loved Asterix and Obelix going into the school library and you know
Yeah.
tucking
I
right
think
in.
that was one of the. I think they were that was the one comic you could actually borrow from your library.
Yeah.
It was the one comic you could go in and go. I grew up on comics from a very young age, and then you go to school and like, oh yeah, we have some comics, and you get excited, and then it's Asterix and Obelix, and you go through and you like I'm the same. I used to read them all the time when I was young, so I can definitely agree with that.
Or it was the Phantom. The Phantom was the other one.
Nah.
No, I
Yeah, well,
love that one.
Phantom is still the one comic book you can get from a newsagent. Like
Yeah.
I remember
Really?
when I was younger, my local newsagents in where I grew up in Quakers Hill used to have all the comics. X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. You used to always have the Phantom as well. But then now you go into a newsagent and pretty much the Phantom is the only comic book that they will still have every single month. I don't know if it's like a deal with the publisher, but yeah, that's. I always remember seeing the Phantom every newsagent I went.
Blackmail.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
probably get you to
Probably.
switch to audio, Ryan, because you're just frozen. Just
Okay,
for a
give
little
me a
bit.
sec.
We can still hear you. You're just like you're a robot.
Okay,
He's
all
got the
right.
dance
Well,
moves.
I'll just go. I'll just go audio only then.
Cool.
Okay, so question number 2. What's something that's on your bucket list?
Well, going back to the travel thing we just spoke about would be going to America. Maybe not for a little while, the way things are over there, from a political standpoint.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go over there. Mainly, I've grew up loving American sports, like NFL, NBA, going to a baseball game, eating a hot dog, going to ice hockey games. So going there and probably seeing a lot of their sports, to be honest, live would be absolutely amazing. For me, that would be most definitely number one, without a doubt.
Yeah. I think, and it is an achievable thing too. Event. It's something you can save up to, save up for, and eventually go there, and hopefully cross it off the bucket list. It's not something that's almost impossible. So that's a good one to have.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, it's something you can save to, and over time, right, I've got enough money. I'm taking off for filling the blank how long and doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'd want to it want to be a long time or a significant time because the plane ride is it's like you wouldn't want to fly 27 hours for spend a couple of days and then come home.
Not like half Australia. I was going to go to Bali for a weekend.
Well, New Zealand's only like 2 or 3 hours away.
3.5. Quite good. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to bring up the graph. The visual aid for the next question is Mount Rushmore. No, you do not need to name these presidents.
No, I couldn't help you.
I got a feeling you'd probably know 2 of them.
If I'm lucky.
But the question is, running with that theme, what would be your Mount Rushmore of television shows or streaming shows? 4 shows that you would like to stick up there. They can be from any era, from when you were a kid, from just yesterday, whatever you like.
Yeah, well, that's the hard part, going from a kid to obviously recent bias with Netflix. It's pretty bloody hard. So number one, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to go down the path of anime.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go with One Piece.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
So, I've watched a lot of One Piece. Most of it's on Netflix, and very random, but I enjoy it. My other half thinks I'm crazy, but that's fine. But I'm going to go with that. Number 2, I'm going to go with The Blacklist.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Again, opposite end of the spectrum, but yeah, like I said, watch that. So many twists and turns. You don't know what's going on half the time, but there's always an ulterior motive that you don't find out in the last 5 minutes or 2 episodes later, and you're going, how did this happen and how did we get here? So, yeah, to keep your mind going. Third, I'm going to go back to my childhood. I'm going to go Hogan's Heroes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Watched that a lot with my pop, who was a father figure of mine. It was something he enjoyed, and it's something I remember quite vividly. So there's a nostalgia thing there, an emotional connection, but very easy show to watch and quite funny. And, so 3 very random shows right there. The last one, I'm going to go with The Simpsons.
Yes.
Been around forever. It's test of time for a lot of it. Probably the last few years might be getting a bit, you do wonder, but a lot of their series, it's very funny, good humor, cultural relevancy that they have in that year and when they do stuff, and crazy predictions as well.
Yeah. That's trippy.
They just pull stuff out and you just go, oh, what? And then in many years' time, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with those 4. Very, very random, very different. And
well, I think that's what you want. You want for a Mount Rushmore. You want random, different spectrums. Yeah. What do you think of the live action One Piece?
Yeah, I've watched them. I've enjoyed it. It's very different, obviously on the same path. Yeah, when the second season came out, I think I watched it in straight away in a day, and yeah, it's very. I enjoy it. Hopefully they keep doing them, whether they do or don't. They could be doing them forever to play catch up with how many One Piece episodes there are. They just it's like the song that doesn't end, really. Just
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's I started watching One Piece when a friend of ours recommended it, and I got very intimidated by the episode count. I thought it's going to be a major lifestyle commitment. So yeah, it definitely is on the list. But I've only seen the first season of live action One Piece and absolutely loved it. So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out the anime one day when I have enough time to watch a couple of thousand episodes.
When you got a few spare years to.
And just so you know, for Ryan to say he's intimidated, that says a lot because he's like a 40-season veteran of Law and Order. So
100%. I've watched them I've watched them a couple of times too. So
so he's an 80-season veteran.
Of the other month, we watched a TV series called Resident Alien.
Yes, I love that show.
And he's like, I learnt everything from Law and Order. He's like, it was the most random thing, and that was so good. That's what you said. That just popped in my head because I just watched it.
I love it. It's based on a comic book, which is a little, should I say, a lot different. The humor is I think it's more dry humor, but it's like when they did the show, Alan Tudyk auditioned and they kind of rewrote it for him because I went, no, this guy's too good. It's good.
Oh, it's madness. It's just.
Have you watched the whole thing? All 4 seasons?
Watched it most of on Netflix, and then had to watch the last season on a different streaming platform.
Yeah.
On I can't remember. Yeah, watch the whole thing, and it's just mental with some of the stuff, and he's sort of going and his mannerisms and the way he talks. It's very well done with that. Very well done. But the first he was like starts basing everything on law, and I was like, da-dum, and going, what is going on here?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, question number 4. Dr. Emma Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. where or when do you go?
Oh, I really struggle with this because you're like, I'm thinking, well, going to the future, well, I don't know how exciting that would be the way the world is at the moment. And then going back in time, where do you go? Is it something irrelevant for historic, personal? Found it really tough with this because you start going, oh, I'm end up going with, I went back to like, I think 2004 Port Adelaide Premiership to go and actually be there to watch it. I think sort of where I sort of landed on because I'm going, it's probably the first thing that popped in my mind. So rather than overthink about it, I went with that.
Would you place a bet?
Yeah, load up and all my money, and I could probably, own 10 houses now for the price of what things are now at housing.
Yeah, that's it.
I like that. Yeah, go back and place the bet. Yeah,
or buy a significant plot of land where you know they're going to do developments.
Like shares in Google or something like something like that would be
ideal. Excellent. All right. So for the last icebreaker question, this is one we adopted from another show that sadly ended, called Mirthquake. We were someone requested that we carried on the question, and the question is hot air balloon or janky sub. Now, so basically, would you rather fly in a hot air balloon that's homemade way up in the sky or a homemade submarine way down in the deep?
This just screams of evil, like absolute evil to me, because I'm not too bad with heights, but sometimes I get freaked out in certain situations, and I don't think you can get me a submarine with a gun next to my head, to be honest. I just knowing, like, I've had a mate that's been in the Navy forever, and he's been in subs and all his life, and I think he's mad as heck. And I go, I don't know about the balloons. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the balloons because I don't think I could physically put myself in a submarine, and I would probably be sitting in a balloon with my eyes closed the whole time and praying to somebody to save me. Probably, they both seem like awful ideas.
I think that's the whole reason of the question, because I never got asked the question, but I'm like, I think my answer would be different. It's like if I woke up on one, like, where would you rather wake up on one instead of like, because I wouldn't physically want to get in either. It's just like
someone tranks you and they put you on one of the things and you go, surprise.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, I like to say the question should be, how do you want to die? Do you want a home sub, or do you want to die falling out of the sky on a homemade hot air balloon? Essentially, how do you want to die?
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. And I would go with the submarine because it'd be quicker.
Yeah,
like the whole implosion would be like that, a second. Whereas if you fall out of a hot air balloon, you've got at least, depending on how high you are, you've got at least 30 seconds to a minute of actually seeing yourself falling to have to deal with. So yeah, I'd rather sub because you die instantly.
Yeah, see that. Well,
yeah, one way to put it.
We have asked this question 4 times, and we are literally tie for tie.
Yeah,
we have 2 for the sub, and we have 2 for the hot air balloon.
It's just, I just went no. That was my honest response for reading it.
Yeah. You're just like, can I opt out of this?
Is it option 3?
Option 3 is I just shoot myself. No. All right. Okay. Icebreakers are done. Let's move on to the writing stuff. The comic book question that we like to call it the comic book question, but what is your author origin story? How did you get into writing?
Well, Yeah, well, if you asked me growing up was going to write a book, I'd look at you sideways and think you're crazy. You know, growing up, I've got ADD, I'm dyslexic, so school was not a thing for me. I'd rather be running around kicking a footy and that side. Um, I probably had the idea in my head maybe 10 years ago, and I sat down for maybe half an hour, jotted some stuff up, but time, maybe it's even longer. It's hard to tell sometimes because time flies. At the time, you got work. I had two young daughters, and it just didn't happen. Then life changes. Living by myself, I had a job in COVID, and it was across the border in Victoria,
Wow.
and we're like 15 k's from the border. I can't cross the border. You got to work from home, so you sort of work from home, and then basically just right, I'm doing it, and sat there and started doing it and that's how I started writing. The first book right at the start of COVID, going through the whole process, like with it, writing down different ideas, jotting down notes. And yeah, I started writing the first book in the series, which I said earlier was Exonerai. Very funky, I know, name, hard to pronounce. So it's basically there is no letter in the alphabet when it comes to countries that start with X. Every other letter in the alphabet has been represented or is still. So I basically made up my own country that has been lost. And that's basically where the series started from, making up their own country, why it's lost, and sort of going on from there, building on that side of it. So yeah, wrote that side there, got the character side, did the self-publishing through a company, won't name the company, wouldn't recommend. You learn a lot of different things, self-publishing through that, and you're also limited with what they do and how they could help you. Probably rushed the process too much looking back. And like I said earlier, should have done something easier than go, I'm just going to write a series.
Yeah.
Sounds good in your head. So yeah, released it not long after COVID. Was it fantastic? No, there was issues with the design and the grammar side of things, which, probably a few years ago, I thought, right, I need to go back and sort this out. So sorting out the story itself, sorting out grammar, finding a better editor, which was good, going on Redsea, which I really enjoyed using that platform. Finding an editor, finding a good designer as well on another platform, getting that sorted and getting stuck back into like the next process of the second book and the third book. And then, last year I released the second and third book of the series and re-released the first. Basically redesigned the whole thing from start to finish with editorial design at the front. So there's sort of a theme with the front of the books with that, and just flowed a lot better. Took a lot of feedback on board. Obviously, first book, you go, what was I thinking? To where you go, right, this is totally different, and your opinions change in that time, and your thought process. So I guess that's where it is.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. No, I think we're a lot similar. It's just like I never wanted to start with a series. I'm writing a series now, but even then I realize I've got how much better I've gotten while working on the third book in the series. And it's just like now I've paused and I'm going back to re-edit the first one because I'm indie, just to make it more polished so it can match the second one. And it's good because that series not many people have read. Well, they haven't read, not that many people have read my first book in the series. So
Yeah.
I'm going like I'm holding back advertising it until I polish it off.
Yeah.
But
Makes perfect sense because your
yeah,
brain's like, yeah, this is going to be great. And then you sort
yeah,
of, oh, what did I do?
yeah. It's
Well,
yeah,
that's a good thing about being, an indie author, self-publishing. You've got the ability to go back and edit it.
Mm.
And, the people that have read it, like that have actually read the first one can also just go and grab a copy of the second release and also see how you've grown as well as you see how you've grown. So that's a good thing about being self-published rather than being down the traditional publisher route, I think, anyway.
100%. Like people can see it, the change, and even
yeah,
they've seen the change reading. The people have read the second and third, they can see how the change, the writing's changed, and different. They see so many different things, like the feedback you get, and you go, okay, cool. We'll take this on board rather than getting offended, because that's
yeah,
pretty easy to do, because you go, well, this is mine, and
yeah,
you're trying to throw rocks at it.
yeah,
But it's a hard thing to take on
yeah.
that criticism, as we know as well.
But I would much rather that criticism over a publisher taking your book and then going, please change all of this stuff. You know, because we believe that it won't sell unless you change all this stuff, And I'm like,
Then you change it to what you want it to be and what
yeah,
you envisioned, and all of a sudden you just go, I hate this.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing, you lose what it is, what that creation, how
yeah,
you've done it for that organic
yeah,
side of it, to, oh, look at the multi-billion-dollar machine that's basically
yeah,
scrapped everything bar three of my ideas, and
yeah,
what is this thing I'm looking at now?
yeah.
So and as the reader of the podcast, like I read a lot. Like I read a couple of hours, 3 to 4 hours every night, and I've read a lot of books. And as someone who does a lot of reading, I would much rather read an indie author's book now, since doing the podcast for the last 5 years, over a traditional published book, because I know that it is your work, it is your passion. You haven't been forced to, essentially whip the guts out by a traditional publisher and, and do what they want. It's your vision, it's your passion. And I find that's why I love indie author books so much more, because I can feel that in reading them.
Yeah, like you said, that especially that polished side, and some people like come back and they said, the first book, there was issues, but I knew it was real, and it's actually, I actually see it's real because there are mistakes. You go, and your brain goes, this is actually real, as well, and you go, cool, good to know, but wish the mistake wasn't there to start with, but
still, like I'm one of those. I'm a spelling and grammar Nazi, and I find that I've become a lot more tolerant of that stuff since I've started reading indie books, because I don't care about the spelling mistakes. The stories are always amazing because, like I said, it's your work and it's your passion. That it all, I don't even. I see the mistake and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Whereas if I was reading a traditionally published book, I'd be like, well, that shouldn't have gotten through the publisher's edits and stuff like that, because I know that it's got to go through about 10 different stages. So yeah, that's what I review a lot too, and I'd never ever give any book a bad review, because bad review because of a spelling or grammatical error, because it's like that's just pointless. That's just it's the passion comes through, and that's what I look for.
100%.
All right, let's take a look at some of your books. I did the what do you call it? The pre-interview, stalking. Let's call it that. So you got 3 in a series. I don't know which one's first. Which came first?
The Australian one. So
obviously,
here, so it's a lot easier with that. So the first book, Exonerite in Australia. So pretty easy because I live in Australia, so that makes it a lot more authentic. So yeah, that's the start of it, where I've made it start basically in my hometown, which again, easy in that sort of thing. So basically, the main character is Leif Brody finds a old book on a old dilapidated building, and it's basically the lost history of the country, which he sort of doesn't really think much of it. And then more you look into it, bits and pieces make sense with that side of it. He has two of his best mates, Samo and Spence. One's a farmer, very logical. One's a cadet car salesman, very aloof and, a bit crazy in that side of things. So but basically they figure out this book is real. It understands what the country is, what's happened to it, where it's gone. So they decide to follow where these clues take them in the story. The first book is a lot really describing about the country and building around the aura of the country, what it is, what's happened to it, where's it gone. So in the first book, it really is building around the country itself. It doesn't really dive deep into the characters and that side of things, to be honest. That's probably the main, how it starts off, that book. The second one is Cuba. So they follow the clue that they've gathered that to go to Cuba to find the next piece of the puzzle, so to speak. And obviously Cuba, I think, still has a lot of mystery around it as a country. When you look at, how heavily influenced we are by America, and, they're like, oh, you can't go to Cuba and communists and that sort of thing. I think there's still a bit of mystery around that. But it dives more into culture itself around Cuba. But it's a lot more character. It's a lot more character driven with this book. You get to understand who is Leif, who is Samo, who is Spence. There's other characters that get more involved in this that touch on the first book. Their bodyguard, Selena, who's a very dominant female person in this book. You dive into the backgrounds of each and really makes you connect more with who they are, what they're about, and their substance with that side. And then the third one is Japan, which is where Leif ends up. The other two end up having to go on their own paths. So, Japan itself, again, it's very cultural driven there. I visited Japan a couple of years ago. So I was there, traveled there for a month. So I think Japan's probably, it's really hard to say this when it's Ukraine. It's probably my favourite book just because of being there and those emotions and those different things you feel that come across the book. But it's more a self-learning journey for Leif, the main character, understanding more about who he is, probably finding himself as a young 18-year-old, trying to grow and understand. Like at that age, we're all sort of don't know who we are. Some people say I'm 40 years old and I still don't know what I'm doing. So Japan itself's a lot more of growing who Leif is a character and understanding different aspects of himself that he wouldn't know or understand, basically. And that's where I'm up to so far.
So far, does that mean there's more coming?
That is the plan. So, the plan is I've written down some things for the next one. Haven't got there. Said, once you do these things, try and get it out there more and get it out in social media and Amazon and, write 100 emails or ring a heap of bookstores, go and see them and say, hey, do you want to put my book in? And sort of being country makes it hard as well. Luckily, I said there's been a few that are happy to stock it or here, there, and there. But that's probably, the part that probably people don't tell you, as you know, is, writing a book, cool. Marketing is just, that is next level, trying to get traction, find your niche, and, where it's bookstores or, on Amazon or, even online, like, you go on Instagram and you do something and you put your hashtags and you got 1,000 people in your DMs wanting money to do collaborative deals. I'll give you 20. And you sort of go, what? There is idea to do another one. I have an ideas about it. Obviously, it changes as your brain goes in different directions, but the idea is to do some more to obviously finish off the journey.
Nice. So how'd you go about the covers? Were they people you hired, or what was the process behind that?
So said that the Australia one's the second version. The first one was very plain and was just frustrated by the heck out of it. But again, when I went through someone else, it was just like, so I went going online, looking at different platforms and finding, I think it's Millart.
All right, yeah. Milbart or whatever
Milbart, how he pronounced it. Otherwise, I'll butcher the word.
Yeah.
Going on there, creating ideas. I found a really good designer on that, how I wanted it to be. They came out with different ideas, this and that. I really like the idea of how they all flow now, how you're opening a book. Down the bottom, you've got that goes through there. It's like you're opening the adventure to start, especially obviously it's aimed at, young adults. So you want something that's going to be able to draw them in. So I had a lot of different ideas, the ideas they had as well. So you can sort of bring them together. And I could not design a book. I can't even draw a stick figure that looks normal. So I think finding designer, like an editor, finding someone that's on somewhat your same wavelength, but also can complement, your deficiencies, as with different things, is always important, because you could be thinking on wavelength two and they're on 10, and you can work together and find something in the middle. I think it's worked really well with all three, and that's where it come down to.
Got any questions, Ryan?
No, I was just looking at, when I looked at it on Amazon, it had the for the Kindle, had the old cover for the Australian the first book, the Australia one. The second one's definitely a massive improvement on that. So I think you can definitely tell they're all part of a series, because they've got the same kind of, each book has its own iconic features, obviously based on the country that they're based in. But you can definitely tell that they're part of a series as well. So whoever did the art for that is definitely has done the right thing.
Yeah, like you said, you see the first one too, the second one, and it's a million times so much better and actually grabs your attention, where the first one you think, oh, this will be all right. And they sort of said, no, you can't do any more editions or changes. You're like, and you're sort of stuck, and you look back and you go, what? You're just so disappointed. But like you said, you've hit the nail on the head with that, Ryan. The changes is just chalk and cheese.
Yeah, definitely. No, 100%. And it looks like it's part of a series, and to me it jumps out straight away going, this would be something that I'd really enjoy to read.
So how did you choose these these countries? Obviously, you start in Australia. You're Australian. That's the that's the easy one. But why Cuba? And like, was did you have the idea while you were in Japan or
Um,
before Chan?
Look, to be honest, um I went with Cuba because, as sort of briefed, I think there's still, I think this day and age, a bit of misconception about what Cuba is.
Mm.
I think as a country, obviously, communists with all that side of things, and I think there's still a lot of interest around that sort of country as being a bit mysterious with that side of things. Obviously, haven't been there, so you've got to do a lot of research, understanding the country, talking to people that have been there to get their experiences. It's more important with that, probably diving into what makes up a country, not saying, population is this, and actually, who are the people? What are they, what is that makes it tick, which is the people
Yeah.
with that side of things. In Japan, I didn't think going down that route when I went there. I said I went there like 2 years ago, first time being overseas to Japan. Went there for a month. I've been with my partner who's Australian. We've been here 4 years, and she came back before COVID, and we met. And she's travelled and worked like 15 years around the world, been here, there, and everywhere. And she goes, "When you go overseas?" I said, "Cool. What does that look like?" I said, "Well, I think we go somewhere for a month." And I'm like, "I've never been overseas." So we ended up on Japan, and massive eye opener, going to another country, how they do things and that side of things. And going there, it's just like, well, this is a no-brainer. Once you've been there, and it just makes it so easy to resonate with, like I said, doing day-to-day stuff, the food, the smells. You can go and look at your photos and your videos you've taken, and, you close your eyes and you go, okay, and I just think it just ended up working realistically. I think with that, I think I did start a bit of it when going down that direction. But yeah, going there just went, if I don't, I'm clearly an idiot. Basically, with not, having, the experience I did when I went there.
So what are you working on now? Are you going to are you committed to continuing the series, or do you have other
Look,
projects in the works?
I don't have any said. Like I said, I just started writing. I'm going to do a series, which is, as of not, madness to start with. Look, the next one is the fourth book.
Yeah.
I have ideas on, you read the third book, and there is, tells you what the next idea, next place they're going. So I have ideas with the next book, which I've gone down a different path rather than just. I've gone with Rapa Nui.
Ooh.
Is going to be the next place. I've gone, their actual traditional name of the island, rather than obviously being just, a part of Chile. It's one of the remote islands in the world and hardest to get to. And it's owned by Chile. And rather than just saying Chile, I've decided to use the actual island's actual name, traditional name, and put a real different spin on it, to obviously keep it interesting. I think so. And that cultural aspect, I think, is really important, diving into the book so people can actually understand those things, and with that side of things, because I for whatever reason, I've been like geography forever. Been overseas twice, which someone that likes geography and writing stuff that involves a country is pretty maddening. With that, I've had a old, full size, almost of a wall of an old map that my mum bought me when I was young. And it's got like the old USSR and on there, which I think I've looked at 1,000 times. There's probably a lot of that that's influenced that side of it as well. But yeah, I'm going down the path of the next book and sit down and concentrate and find that next kick of motivation.
Excellent. It's
Awesome.
so Rapa Nui's like Easter Island, is that correct?
Correct. You've hit the
Yes.
nail on the head. So yeah, rather than being Easter
Yeah.
Island, I've decided to go with its traditional name just to put
Rapa
that,
Nui. Yeah.
just put that spin on it and just go. People
Well,
go, oh, what's
It sounds better though, you know. Like,
that?
you know.
Yeah, I think Easter Island would be very.
Otherwise, then you might feel like you have to go like then you have to do Christmas Island, you know.
No, well, I just thought it's different. It's got a different spin and take on it, and going Easter Island or just like Chile going sort of felt like it almost dilutes it.
Yeah, well,
it
doesn't fit the series. Easter Island doesn't sound like it fits the series. So
no,
it's the right choice.
So there's sit down, do the research with that side of it, and try and get to talk to obviously some people about it, because obviously being so remote, obviously being in the middle of nowhere, legitimately, so yeah, that is the next project.
Awesome. Well, let's crack on to the next little segment, which we call, well, it hasn't got no official name, but it's like advice, the advice part. So you've been writing since COVID. What's something you've learned along the way, or what's a piece of advice you'd offer someone who's starting
out? Mistakes are okay. I think, mistakes are okay because we're very critical of ourselves as human beings, but mistakes are okay. They can get fixed. They can get changed. With that, I think doing your research, trying to find good people to work with, I think that's very important. Something I've learned with editing and the covers of my books is trying to find that, do some research, reach out to people. Everyone's going to help you. And, that's the thing, is plenty of people are going to help. No one wants to see you fail in life. And the other thing is, I really think, write what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about something, write that. If you go and write something about something you have no interest in, it's not going to be that exciting. You probably even won't finish it because you'll lose interest because you're not passionate. So I think, being willing to understand you can make mistakes, find good people that will complement your skills, and write something you're passionate about. Like I really think they're important things. Well, I've found personally with that side of it.
Yep. 100%. And you can always, like I've said before, you can always tell when someone's writing about something that they're passionate about. It just reads completely differently. It makes it so much more of a great experience for the reader, as I'm sure as well as it does for a writer. So yeah, 100% right with what you're passionate about, and it definitely does come through on the page.
Excellent. Are you ready to play a game?
We'll see. This could be interesting.
It can go either way. If there's one thing that I've learned is people playing this game, when they say they're going to suck, they end up being great. So I'm just saying.
This.
So the game is called Story Pitch. We have a setting, a genre, a main character's profession, and a crazy addition. You're going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories. Then we're going to tell you what it is, and then you're going to pitch us a story. It can be as in-depth or as vague as you want. Need I remind you that this is how He-Man came to be? Very similar to this. Made up on the spot.
I've listened. Oh,
There's 2 rounds. The first round is the practice round, and then the second round is the not practice round.
oh.
Um,
I've
so
listened to the last few, and they've been absolute crazy as hell. And like the crazy addition of Steve is just next level.
yeah. So when you're ready, give us 4 numbers between 1 and 12.
Let's go with the setting of 1.
Yes. Just rattle them off, and we'll give them to you.
Settings 1, genre 10, main character's profession 12, and we'll go crazy 8.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so your setting is a space station.
Space station.
Yep.
Yep. And your genre is something we like to call noble, bright fantasy. It's the opposite of grim dark. So, fantasy, not necessarily all happy, but like a lot. I'm just trying to think of an example. Do you have an example, Jamie?
It's kind of like hopeful. You just gotta think hopeful. Maybe Lord of the Rings might be a little bit noble.
Yeah.
Just like it's like grimdark is like everything's bleak and it ends, morbidly kind of thing. So
there's a little bit of light.
Yeah. And your first spanner being thrown in the work. I mean, well, technically a space station and a noble bright fantasy. I mean, well, now you've got a grifter or a con artist.
Oh my
God! But in saying that, your crazy addition kind of fits in with the genre of noble bright fantasy. So your crazy addition is someone or something that must appear in the story, even if it's just for 5 seconds, and that is a talking gecko.
Talking gecko.
That's it. So to run home, we've got a space station. It's got to be noble, bright fantasy. Your main character is a con artist or a grifter, and you've got to have a talking gecko. This is got to be the most craziest one we've ever had.
This is wow! I've got to stop and think about this. So they're on a space station. It's fantasy hope. There's a con artist, and there's got to be a talking gecko.
That's it.
I'm all right. So where do we start? So they're in a space station circling the moon.
Okay.
And in the space station, we have Bill, Larry in there, and they're stuck going, we don't have enough fuel to get back to Earth. We're on the dark side of the moon. How are we going to get there? And Bill's like, well, we do have reserve fuel outside there, but we don't have enough oxygen to go out there. And Larry's like, no, we do. I've got something secret. And Bill's like, what do you mean? We've been up here for 3 months. And what do you mean you got something secret? I said, well, have you met him? He's like, met who? He's like, my special friend. And he's like, what special friend are you talking about? And he's thinking maybe there's a lack of oxygen due to his brain. He's like, my talking gecko. And he looks at him like sideways or in space and talking gecko. Yeah, my talking gecko, Miss Jane. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, my talking gecko, Miss Jane, can go outside and get the reserve fuel and save us. And he's looking at him going, where is this talking gecko that's going to save our lives? And he gets in his pocket and he pulls it out, and it's not a gecko. He's just got some string mangled together with some rubber bands, and he's going, see, this is Miss Jane. She's going to save us. She's going to give us that little bit of hope we need to get back to home. And he's looking and going, what? Have you lost your mind? And he's like, no. And he goes to open the hatch to let Miss Jane go and save them.
I gotta say, it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
You that was a very challenging one. What are you thinking, Ryan? Netflix series or movie or book?
I want to know what happens next. So I'm gonna green light it. We're gonna give it a. Seeing as it has to be kind of fantasy, we might give it an animated Disney special.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Oh.
definitely challenging. That one.
Well,
And that was the easy round.
That was the easy round.
yeah, it was a practice. It was a practice round.
Oh, I probably didn't sell the grifting side that good, but
No, well, technically, the grift was the talking gecko.
yeah, well,
That's how I see it.
yeah, no, we'll pay that.
Okay, round two. Let's see what happens this time. What are your four numbers for the
All right,
round two?
we'll go settings number 4,
Mhm.
genre 2, main character 5, and crazy edition number 12.
Okay.
All right. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
Oh.
Setting is a video game arcade.
Oh, okay, I can work with that.
The genre kind of works with that as well. The genre is cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Yep.
Your main character is a photographer.
And the crazy edition kind of fits in with the setting and genre too. It's have you seen the movie
Pacific Rim. Have you seen Pacific Rim?
Maybe a million years ago. I could be in trouble here.
Giant robots?
Oh,
They're called Jaegers.
yeah,
Giant robots that
yeah.
they built to take on the monsters. So yeah.
I know what you mean because they had that in that one of your last pictures where it was in with the Batman.
Yes, in the Batcave.
In the Batman in the Batcave, and they were trying to set their set, and that was absolutely insane.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, your setting is an arcade. Your genre is cyberpunk. Your main character is a photographer, and it's got to have Jaegers.
The robot, not the drink, right?
Yeah, the robot.
The robot. All right, so we're going to start with Rowan, who is a school photographer going into a video store, or video games, and he's meeting his friend Ben there, and Ben wants to tell him about his favorite game at a video store, and it is it's not actually a video game. It's a pinball machine. And it is the theme of the cyberpunk. And he's playing the game and his mate Rowan's taking all the photos and he's not playing very well. And it's basically Rowan's got his photos of him being all angry and upset and he's just like, I can't play very well today. You're watching me and I can't cope with the pressure and they're not getting any good photos for what they want to do for their school project and whatnot. And so they go play a few other games and all of a sudden Ben trips over and he hits a heap of electricals and all of a sudden he gets put into a game and it's actually one of the video games and surprise, surprise, he's in Pacific Rim.
Oh.
And this is not good, and he's inside, he's freaking out. He's just a cartoon character, so his mate Rowan comes along and puts a few dollars in and decides to take a few photos and of his mate that's in the video game, and in there Ben's freaking out, and Rowan can hear this little squeaky voice, get me out. So he starts playing the game and he's going okay, and then all of a sudden a Jaeger appears and Ben's like, don't kill me, I don't want to die in a video game. His mate Rowan's freaking out, and so he goes back around to the electrical and he starts pulling out all the electricals and seeing if he can magically get his mate out to save him, and somehow pulling electricals out and whatnot, he managed to cross some wires and, I don't know, maybe say a few magic words and hope, and all of a sudden Ben pops out, but then the whole building just implodes because Ben's not the only one that's come out of the game.
Jaeger.
There is a massive Jaeger that has just demolished the whole building, and Rowan's just standing there with his camera, just going click. In shock.
There you go. I must admit, you did have some challenging ones.
Oh yeah, that was.
But well done. Well done.
Very well done.
Oh, I love this game.
Your brain's thinking 1,000 miles in different directions and going.
This is why we've done a few episodes with multiple authors, and they work really well. Just they're bouncing ideas off each other. It's really good. We'll be doing another one of them soon. And Ryan, I should let you know because I haven't told anyone yet, but we have 4 graphs now. I've created 4 graphs. So that means in the future we'll rotate them around. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Excellent.
No, I listened to, I think most of the last one where you had like the authors, and that's why I bring up the Batman one, and I just driving along, just I was just laughing my head off, going, this is mental.
We don't want to make it easy for people, so we like to keep it. We like to keep it fun. So so far it's been pretty good. I like it. We've got some pretty good stories out of it.
Yeah. Like one day we'll have to release an anthology of all these different stories. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. That would be wild.
Yeah, that's what people don't realise. We're actually doing it to do an anthology and steal all your ideas and make money from it.
Just all these pitches to Netflix. Here you go. What about this one?
And see what sticks.
Just see what sticks. We've got all these pictures. I'm sure Netflix always needs content or someone like that.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Scott. This has been a blast. What we're going to do is we're going to give you the floor to plug what you want to plug, tell our listeners where they can stay up to date with what you're doing. Anything you want to say, the floor is yours. Oh,
thank you. So you can go to my website, which is exoneride.com, XONARYE. You can go there. You can find all the books there. You've got links to my socials if you want to follow me on social media, probably on the Instagram there. Obviously, you can find the books on almost anywhere online. Obviously, Amazon being the big one with that sort of things. That's where you can find me. If you want to buy a book, fantastic. If you want to follow on the journey and see some craziness as well, that's all part of life. But that's where you can find me. And thank you for having me, guys. This has actually been a blast and a really good laugh, and appreciate it a lot.
You're very welcome.
Remember to check out our sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All the links are down below. And hey, guys, join our Discord. This is where a lot of the fun is happening. This is primarily where we're organizing all our multi-author episodes. We've got some great stuff coming up. I don't know if it's released yet. It may have been released, but the episode on in-person events, just a bunch of authors discussing, success stories and things that, that worked for them. We've got some more story pitch episodes coming too. So yeah, just jump on in, reach out. We'll give you the link, and we'll have a lot of fun there. But if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. And until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.